Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. And the show is all about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. And today we have a very special guest in the studio, Brenda L. Balding. And I'm going to bring her up in a few minutes, and we are going to talk about the 12 steps that led to self-discovery and how extraordinary this beautiful woman is in her 70 young years, and how she is one of the brand new hosts on the I Have Today television network. And her show is called Love's Inner Voice, The Path to Self-Discovery. And so she's remarkable. You're absolutely going to love her. And we're going to talk about intentional living, how you can at any time, at any age, under any circumstances, live out and fulfill your dreams. And you can take whatever life has handed to you and use it to help and serve others. And Brenda is going to be an inspiration for all of you, because let me tell you, as someone who knows her personally, because she's on my television network, to have seen her transformation is something that is truly remarkable. And she is such a testament that you've got to go for your dreams no matter what, and you've got to believe in it, and you've got to never quit. And she's just got a beautiful show and a beautiful story. So we're going to get into that in just a few moments. So self-discovery is something that is not an easy journey for a lot of people. It really makes you look within at yourself and your life and hold yourself accountable. Because if the things in your life aren't the way that you want them to be, perhaps you're not living in the body you want, or in the relationship you want, or have the financial means that you want, or any of the circumstances that you want, maybe family, then that's something that you have to look at within yourself to discover within what it is. And the place where all of this comes down to, as I know Brenda's going to talk about, is something that we talk about here at I Have Today all the time. And it comes down to self-love. And the journey through self-discovery is something that Brenda is an expert on. She's going to share all of that with us in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to say hello to you. If this is your first time here at I Have Today, welcome to the show. We are so grateful to have you. We just crossed over 100,000 views a month of this TV show. The team and I are celebrating. Our audience, I can't even remember where we started at, but I think we've grown like over 80% this year, which is, I'm truly humbled and grateful to you for being here and showing up episode after episode, week after week, and been a part of this journey. I'm so truly blessed. I tell my hosts all the time, I'm the luckiest woman in the world, and I feel like that. And so I want to thank you for that, because we are nothing without you. And so if you've been here before, obviously, thank you so much for being here. And again, for you newbies, please make sure you come back. We run this show live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. And so you can find us on the E360 TV television network, and we are I Have Today TV. That is our channel. So look for us there. Look for my show. Brenda's show is there, as well as all the other incredible TV hosts who are changing the lives of women all over the world. You can find us there. Now, one of the things we do on this show is every single week we have a new intention statement. And the intention statement for today's episode is, I have today to follow my path to self-discovery. I have today to follow my path to self-discovery. And this intention statement is something that is anchored into what our topic is about, what our guest is about, and then ultimately what our mantra meditation at the end of the episode will be about. So we always take whatever the core issue is, and we give you all the empowerment tools so that you can take what we're sharing with you today and let it really ingrain in you and let it become a part of you, so that it's just not going in one ear and out the other. You're living it intentionally. So So, what the team does every week is they make a beautiful graphic of our intention statement. And there it is right now. It's on the screen. And where you can find that beautiful graphic is if you hop on over to my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official, Diane Forster Official. When you go there, go to my profile and you'll see a little button that says intention statements. This graphic is already there, as well as all the others that we've created. And we're going to be making card decks out of them soon. But anyway, what I want you to do for this week is take a screenshot of it and then use it as your wallpaper on your phone. So every time you look at your phone, you are reminded that this is your weekly intention statement. And you remember that I have today to follow my path to self-discovery. So, and while you're over there on Instagram, if you're not following me, if you feel called to, give me a follow over there. I'd love to connect with you over there as well. All right. Well, we're getting ready to bring in Brenda up to the studio right now. But before we do that, remember, you want to stay till the very end of the show because we're doing our mantra meditation. And then I have something else really special that I want to share with you as well. And now we're going to hear a word from our spifter, and then we'll start our interview with Brenda. Thanks. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, hello, Brenda Balding. How are you today?
I am wonderful, Diane. And how are you?
I'm so great, and I'm thrilled to see you and have you in the studio. It's so much fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fun to be on the other side of the studio.
Right, because you've started your show recently. All right, well, before we get into that whole conversation, which I can't wait, and I know the audience can't wait either, let me share a little bit about you.
Okay.
Brenda L. Balding is a registered nurse of 50 years and Reiki Energy Healer. She's also an author and TV host. Her TV show is called Love's Inner Voice, The Path of Self-Discovery. She's a spiritual guide and sober living expert. Brenda is passionate about being in service to others and guides you on your path to self-awareness, revealing simple answers to tough questions. The primary focus of this show, her show, is to support your journey of self-discovery by listening to Love's Inner Voice. And she's got several books that she's published. We're going to talk all about that. Okay. Wow, Brenda. So excited to have this conversation with you. And I know, wow, a registered nurse for over 50 years. And I know it's okay for me to say that you are in your 70s and you started a TV show a little over a month ago, correct?
Yes.
Yes, you did. So, with all your years of work, I mean, there's a story here, right? And how did you get to the place where Love's Inner Voice, your show on the path of self-discovery, is what you're so passionate about? Please give us the background information.
Thank you for asking, Diane. The best background that I can give you is when I was introduced to the 12 steps.
Okay.
Because I have difficulty with food. And I don't have alcohol or drug, thank the Lord, because a lot of nurses do, and doctors do too. And when I was introduced to that, I also did some self-learning, some classes with some coaches that assisted me to dive deeper. And one of them supported my idea to create a book about self-discovery, and I called it Recovery is Discovery or Discovery is Recovery. And I call it a focus journal because it allows people to look at the 12 spiritual principles of the 12-step program. And to me, the spiritual principles are the basis of which I live. And the first three are honesty, faith, and hope.
Mm.
So it
Okay.
really is, if I'm honest with myself, and I can be honest with others. If I have hope, I can put one foot in front of the other. And if I have faith, then I know that my higher power, who I call dear ones, because it encourages me to do, because that's the initials, dear ones. Yes, the divine has a sense of humor.
Yes, I know that. Mm.
So that's what really drove me into learning more about me and becoming as authentic as I can each day. Because it
Mm.
really is about the now. It's not about yesterday, and it's not about tomorrow. Yesterday can teach me things. Tomorrow I can plan for, but I don't want to live there. I want
Right.
to live in the now, because that's the part where I can change.
Yes. Well said on a show called I Have Today. I love that you brought up that the universe and spirit has a sense of humor, because it's so true. And I just know personally, I meet so many people who just are not laughing enough and not living enough and not loving enough. And so the I love the way you tied together the spiritual principles with the 12-step living. And so what does you being honest mean to you? What does that mean to you?
That means letting people know where I am. If I have any questions or concerns, being honest about what that is. And the hardest thing for me, being the eldest of seven and a caregiver ever since I was 8 years old, is to let people know what it is that Brenda needs.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a selfish way, in a caring way, in a way that I can continue to learn and grow. An example is letting my daughter know when I need help, and
Yes.
not thinking that I can do it all on my own, because I don't have to.
Mm-hmm. So true. We do that, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then your faith. Tell me about your faith journey. Has faith always been a part of your life, or did you discover your faith late, at a later time or on your own?
Well, thank you for asking that. I was born, well, I was raised in a Catholic home, Catholic environment, Catholic schools all the way through my master's degree, actually, which is fine. A good education, right?
Yes.
I found spirituality in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I always believed in a higher power. I always believed in God. It took me a while to accept that word, because to me, the G and the D are very harsh. So that means God is very harsh.
Mm.
Now, to me, that word is grace over drama, or something like that. So that I can go, oh, I'm sitting in drama. Is that where I want to be? Or do I want to walk in grace? And then I'm connected to the divine.
That's so wonderful. And I know you love to have a play on words. So I
I
love that.
do.
Yes. Yes. And it's so interesting, because I think of that word, and I think that word is um, the simplest, most, simplistic way of stating something that is so vastly indescribable,
Yeah.
right? In so many ways. So we all have our way of connecting to our version of what God is. So amazing. So now you spent 50 years being a registered nurse. You're no longer a nurse, correct? You are officially retired, right?
I am retired. I still have an active nursing license, so I can be of assistance if I choose to. Give shots in emergency situation, take blood pressures, that kind of stuff. So I plan to keep my license active for as long as I feel like I can be useful in the community.
Mm.
But as
That,
far as practicing in a hospital, I'm no longer doing that because it's just physiologically, mentally, the stress level is a little too high for me now. And that was hard to admit.
yeah,
And it was in my best interest because then I could write a book and I could become a TV host because I had the time to
yeah.
create something else with my life.
Mm. So beautiful that you have in this new chapter of your life changed your life exponentially.
Yep.
So let's talk about your books because you've written multiple books here. Discovery is Recovery, which you were just speaking of, and Sacred Connection. What is Sacred Connection about?
Sacred Connection is an anthology with 7 women, very spiritual women, of which I'm one. The person who instigated it is Ann Jonas, who will be on my show next week, which is really cool. And the women told their story of how their sacred connection journey.
Mm.
And my story is in there. And I'm the 6th chakra. She did it by the chakras because there were 7 of us.
Okay.
And I did my story in like train stops. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And it turned out to be 12 train stops. It was
Wow.
not planned. That
Mm.
was divine.
Mm. Yes. So you keep speaking of the divine. When did that influence? When were you very consciously aware that you had a direct plug in to the divine?
I was first aware in my 20s after I graduated from college with a BSN in nursing, a Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
Mm-hmm.
My first job was at the Brooklyn VA. So I was working with vets who had recently been in Vietnam, whose energy was just really sad and cold and
Mm.
closed. And
Yes.
I was working evening shift and I would give a lot of back rubs and my hands would get very hot.
Mm.
So I was actually doing energy healing and didn't know it,
Yes.
except that they talked about healing hands. And I went, oh, I
Yes.
felt like it was the divine that was assisting me with these people. I wasn't totally conscious of it until later, but I've been doing it since that.
Isn't it so fascinating how these gifts have been there all along, but we didn't pick up on it. I always knew things. I just knew things, and people
Yep.
would say, "How do you know?" I just know. I just know. And getting the downloads, didn't understand, and people would say, because I could link things together so quickly, and they
Mm-hmm.
would take them a few minutes to get there, and they're like, "How'd you get there so fast?" And it's just that ability.
Yeah.
So yes, you're very special angel. And so let's turn our attention to your beautiful TV show. Now, so how many episodes have you done so far?
I have videoed 9. I did my 9th one today. 7 have been shown. And I had my first gentleman last week. And we talked about EFT and self care, somatic self care.
That's
And
wonderful.
he actually did some tapping and some psychosomatic exercises with us. It was great fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, you're already on 9 episodes. That's so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. what does it feel like to you to be able to put your work out in the world through the medium of television? How's the experience been for you? And I know the tech was a little challenging, right?
It's been, the app that we use is called Wave Video. Well, it's been waves because
Yeah.
that's what life is. Life
Yes.
is not this.
Linear. It's not.
Life is this, kind of like you show on your colors, it's waves.
Yes.
And it's been an incredible learning experience.
Yeah.
I have some team members, virtual assistants, which some people call, that I never thought I would have in my life. And they have become a part of my show and a part of my learning and a part of my life.
Your
And,
team?
they're in the Philippines. I hope one day to actually visit them and see them in person. That would be my dream.
That is lovely. That is so lovely. Yes. And so, talk about the show and what viewers can expect when they watch and see your show.
We start out with what I call heart breathing because I believe in heart math
Yes.
and I practice heart math, and this is the show, and I just start out with that because it helps bring people in, and it also helps me get connected to the divine because I want the divine to come through in my show,
Mhm.
where I'm not talking about religion, I'm not talking about faith in that sense.
Right.
I'm just working at being present and fluid with whatever is going to happen in the show. I don't script the show. I do create a run of show, and I do ask questions, and I do have a bio of the person, and I review with them what's going to happen during the show. But otherwise, it's whatever the divine leads me or them to talk about or to ask questions about, because I'm very good at asking questions,
Yeah.
especially challenging questions to encourage people to look a little deeper.
Hear to that. That is wonderful. Yes. I love that, being present and you're fluid to what happens. And I love that you start with the heart math breath work, which I was just in a mini, unofficial, but mini course through that. And breathing is so fundamental and so overlooked and taken for granted. And breath is really the key to, we're one breath away from feeling better, from feeling some
Yeah.
sense of relief, one
Yep.
breath away from doing healing work on our bodies and our minds and our everything. So I love that you do that. So, mhm. Go ahead.
And love's inner voice is our innate gift of listening and knowing. And if we don't pause, because taking a conscious breath or a heart breath is a pause so that we can listen. We can ask our body what's going on. We can notice if we're sitting in any feelings or if we're sitting in any pain. We can get up and move. I mean,
Hmm.
how long does that take?
Right.
And we're so busy with all of this stuff that the whoever says that we need to do. And it's like, really? What?
Right. Right. So you're empowering your audience to be self-care,
Mm-hmm.
self-nurturing,
Yes.
self-discovery,
Yes.
and going in as deep as they can go in, to be present and to really listen to themselves and follow those cues and those keys along the way to do and experience whatever is that next right thing for you. I think that's really beautiful.
Thank
Uh,
you. And I use different tools. Like I had someone who it is speaks to animals
Mm-hmm.
and talks about how the animals are here to support us
Yes.
and how we can learn to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, that's all part of self discovery. There's so many things out there. I talked with one person today on empathy. And what does that look like? Some people get really scared when they think of that word or think of emotional intelligence, because we talked about that too. It's like, well, that means I'm weak. Well, really?
Right.
Really?
That's your catchphrase. Really?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that because we know this, but most people don't, which is why I'm so grateful that you have this show and you're doing this show on our television network, which is 100% about self-love and self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Our network
Yeah.
is only here to heal. We are here to heal. And so I love that, and that you're able to create that curiosity and that questioning with whomever you're speaking to, whether it be a guest on your show or somebody that you meet and So that is wonderful, really wonderful. Um, and then, how did you become an expert in this space? I know there was the food journey, but what led you down this particular area of expertise? Which I'm looking for it. And it was on here. Sober living expert. You are a sober living expert. What does that exactly mean to you?
Well, to me, it means that any feelings and emotions are gift from the divine. Feelings are what comes from emotions when something occurs in our life. And to me, I can take those feelings, especially what we call the bad feelings like grief and fear and shoulds and, those kinds of things. And I can take them as poor me or as victim or whatever, or I can take them as gifts to learn from. And then I turn the energy to positive and it becomes sober or calm. To me, sober means calm instead of frenetic and, oh my gosh, I have to fix this.
Yeah.
I don't have to fix everything. Acknowledge where I am, acknowledge what I'm feeling, honor what I'm feeling, and asking, what are you here to teach me? Is
Mhm.
there something? Do I need to acknowledge you?
Yeah.
And to
Beautiful.
me, that's what I've done over the past 10, 12, 15 years.
Mm, yeah. And now you get to do it in a bigger way.
Yeah.
I want to slip in a little story here about us when we met. You
Okay.
you knew that you were on a mission to get your word and your work out in the world in a bigger way, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes. And then I don't remember how you found out about me, but you found out about me. I think it was somebody promoted me, or you heard me speak, or I don't know what it was. Do you remember?
I went to your 3-day training.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about before then. So,
Jill. I
okay.
was at a circle with Jill or with people that had Jill, and they mentioned
Yes.
you.
Okay, they either mentioned it or I did a training there, or you saw
Yeah.
one of my trainings. Okay, now
Right.
I remember. And I remember you saying, because you have your sweet dad is still alive,
Yep.
98 years old, like 90,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And you're full-time caretaker of him, correct? Pretty
I'm
much.
the power of attorney for him. I don't have to take care of him.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's okay. Power of attorney. Thank you for the clarification.
Mm-hmm.
And you were nervous about coming and you wanted to back out and you had a couple of reasons. And I said, let's just hop on a phone. If someone, when I know your dream, I'm going to find out, why are you not pursuing your dream? And I called, I remember us being on Zoom together and you sharing, you're quite emotional about it. And I said, what is it? And you said, I'm so afraid, I feel like I have so much to say and so much to give. And I just don't know how, and I don't want to do it alone. And so how do you feel now? And what is that? Not even 6 months ago. So, 6 months
It was
later.
March.
Yeah. Okay. So it was about
Yeah,
6 months ago.
6 months. Yeah.
And you said yes to yourself. And in less than 6 months, you had a brand and built a business and created a TV show, right? You got the elements of
Yes.
those things. So how does today-year-old Brenda, when she looks back on Brenda from 6 months ago or so, what does today's Brenda want to say to anyone out in the world who also knows that living in the present is good, being in service with your gifts and talents is good, and that fears are a part of this? What do you want to say to them about your experience? What advice?
It truly is about acknowledging who you are, what my purpose is in the world. And sometimes I still don't know. However, I do have trust in my higher power, my dear ones, that they are leading me on the path where I can do the most good and put a lot of ripples in the water, the water of energy out there to assist the transformation of the world.
Yes. Oh my God, ding, ding, ding. You said the best sentence of the show. And I hope everybody caught it, because what you said is sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes you
Right.
don't know. Isn't that glorious to know, everybody out there, that it doesn't even matter what age you are going to be surprised by life. Life is going to hand you
Yes.
opportunities. Excuse me.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Wait, I got to take a sip of
And,
water.
the gifts come in all kinds of wrappings.
Oh, yes, they do.
And sometimes the uglier are the better, but I
Usually
work
they
really
are.
hard not to put judgments on it, just to accept it and to learn from it. Because I don't need to be in resentment, and I don't need to be in judgment
Right.
about anybody or anything, because that just brings my energy down and
Yes.
closes me off to the divine. And I don't need to be closed off from
I
the
love that.
divine.
Yeah. I I couldn't agree more. And your attitude is so positive and uplifting, and I find that with you, even in moments where you don't know how to do the first thing, you don't know the first step. You've really shown the world that you can do anything. There's nothing you can't do. And you speak of it as if, oh, great, something new to learn,
Yep.
now. And so I love that. And that is a great lesson for anyone out there. Don't, I heard this at a seminar and I can't remember who said it, but I'm not taking credit for it because I didn't say it. I just heard it, but I loved it and I ran with it. Is don't be a know-it-all, be a learn-it-all, and just be
Yeah.
open to learning something new, experiencing something in a way that you never have before. And I can see I've seen your transformation, Brenda. You are a totally different looking woman today than you were back then. And I mean that in the most complimentary way. Not that there was anything, quote unquote, wrong with the way you looked, but having this TV show and creating this, and you, more important than the show, is you living in purpose and service. You are lighting up. You're absolutely lighting up. So that's for everybody who thinks, well, when I get my act together, then I can go do the thing that I really want to do. Or, when I'm done with this, then I'll start that. And the answer is no. Step into that now,
Mm-hmm.
because as the divine knows, you know, the universe knows better than you, and you are going
Yep.
to be guided to the right thing. So when something does quote unquote blow up, chances are pretty much 99.999%, I can't say 100, but although I do believe it's 100. I think that one tiny little percent that's not, in your best interest is when you go against your instincts, in
Mm-hmm.
your intuition. That's when,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a mistake. You're just going to be rerouted and redirected towards the thing, and achieving the goal might take a little bit longer. But that you said that is so good. I loved everything that you said, Brenda. Gosh, you're so wise. I'm so happy you have a show to share all this wisdom with. Yes.
And it truly is about, how do I want to show up now? And Diane, you've seen me cry. I have cried on shows
Yeah.
because that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being authentically human.
That's a really
To,
good point.
to
Mm,
me, it's wrong not to be authentically human.
yeah. Yeah, and I will vulnerably share that I cry almost every day.
Yep,
I do.
me
It'll
too.
be it'll be I'll hear a song or a whiff of something or a flash of a memory, or I feel spirit rush through me, or if it's my mom or something, and I will get very, very emotional. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
funny that you brought up animals, because not 2 nights ago, or in the morning, I should say, I woke up and I don't remember a lot of my dreams. I know I'm dreaming all the time, but I don't remember a lot of them. And when I do remember, they're always out of this world, like
Mm-hmm.
otherworldly. And I had
Mm-hmm.
this experience where I was laying in a bed and this dog came up and was just burying her face, just burying her face in my shoulder, to the point where, when an animal wants to get so close to you, they're like trying to push through you, like that's what I was feeling. And then all of a sudden on the other side, I felt it also, not as strong, but very much nuzzling in. And these were my dogs when I got married. I was 27 years old. And it was my mutt Trixie, who we got for Daisy, my Westie, my purebred, and black and white dogs. But the feeling of love. And so when I woke up, I burst into tears. It was just such
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful experience and expression of love. Most of the time when I cry, it is actually tears of joy. It's just the overwhelming feeling of love,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When you cry, what's happening?
Usually it's something that's touched my heart.
Okay.
Whether it's love or caring or kindness or compassion, it's just something, someone, some word, some has touched my heart.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right. Well, we're getting ready to. I have two questions for you that I,
Okay.
I ask all my guests. And the first one is, Brenda. I mean, I kind of have the answer to this, but I want to hear your words. How do you live the I have today way? And if you could start it with I have today too, just like we did for our intention statement, because we collect them from our guests. So please.
I have today to live the serenity prayer with a few additions of my own as I heart breathe.
Wow. Beautiful. Very eloquent. Very well said. I love it. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the next question is, what do you wish more people knew? as she tunes in.
Yeah. That it's okay to pause,
Mm-hmm.
to do some conscious breathing, and to make mistakes.
Mm. Oh, I love that. Yes.
Mistakes don't make us bad. They're
Yeah.
just part of being human, and
Mm-hmm.
they're part of learning.
So I don't believe in mistakes.
Mm.
I think they're all lessons.
Yeah, they are to me too. But
Yeah.
so many people get, you should have been able to do this. Those shoulds. You know about the shoulds.
I do know we
The,
didn't even get there.
yeah,
Yeah.
the if onlys. If only you did it this way.
Right.
And
Right.
then you move into shame,
Right.
which means should have already mastered everything,
Yes.
because that's what people think that we should be able to do.
That well, I wish more people knew that the learning never ends. And
Yes, the learning never ends.
where did we get the idea that it did? That was given to us that it's at age 18 or 22, or depending on you know, the institution or who you're speaking to, that's that window of time to learn. And the truth is the learning never ends. So, yeah.
Well, and the truth is, too, that we create new brain dendrites as long as we're stimulating and challenging our brain. And that's what learning's all about.
Yes.
So I want to keep making new brain dendrites. Don't you?
I sure do. I sure do. Yes. Yeah. All right. So, how can people find out more information about you, Brenda?
The best way is to go to my link tree, and there it is.
Okay. Well, we've got
My
the set.
website is on there, my book is on there, my Calendly is on there, the show is on there, I Have Today is on there.
Wonderful. Well, we will make sure to have that in the show notes as well, everyone. And in case you didn't know this, we also upload this episode as a podcast if you prefer to listen to podcasts, and it is available on all podcast streaming platforms as well. And I'm so happy and grateful to have you in my life, in our community, on our television network, the first and only women's personal development and transformation TV network. I couldn't be more proud to host you and your beautiful show, Love's Inner Voice, and make the impact on women all over the world who absolutely need this message and your beautiful heart and soul. So,
Thank you so much, Diane, for inviting me to share this time with you and with our audience.
well, you are so welcome. It's my pleasure. All right. I know I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Be
Bye-bye.
well. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was such a rich, wonderful conversation. Don't you love her? Just love her. All right. So that's 12 steps that led to self discovery. And she shared three of them with us today. Her top three were honesty, faith, and hope. And we're going to get more into this when we get ready to do the mantra meditation, because we're going to tie in together everything that Brenda and I spoke about today, as well as our intention statement. So you can leave this episode feeling better and more inspired and happier and more empowered at the end of the show than you did at the beginning. But before we do that, I wanted to share a special opportunity. So, isn't Brenda amazing? 6 months ago, she didn't have a TV show. In fact, yeah, 3 months ago, she didn't have a TV show. But she wanted it, and she wanted to make impact in the world, and she wanted to help as many people as possible. And she knew she had a message to share. She just didn't know how, and she didn't know what to do, and she didn't want to do it alone, like she just said. And that's how she found me, because that's the way the universe works. So if you're listening to this or watching this right now, and you've ever thought, I would like my own TV show as well. I would like a platform to put my beautiful work out into the world, and something that is as beautiful as a TV show. Then we have something for you. We have an opportunity for you to find out, are you TV ready? Are you TV ready? We have a free assessment for you that answers a few questions for you just to see where you're at. And what we do is once you complete that questionnaire, you'll hear from a team member to let you know when we're doing our casting calls. And so we'd love to have you on I Have Today TV network and take your amazing work out into the world and join our beautiful community of hosts that are growing by leaps and bounds. And each one of our hosts is so special and unique in her own way. And just like I said about Brenda, I mean, she's a completely different woman, and it happens fast. When you have the right strategy and structure, your heart is in the right place, you're authentic and you're in alignment. It's simply magical. So we'd love to have you. So the link for that is tvstarhost.com/casting. tvstarhost.com/casting. All right. Well, we've had quite a show, but we're not done yet. We're getting ready to do our mantra meditation, which is one of my favorite things, and I hope it's one of yours too. And what we do with the mantra meditation is it gives us the chance to be present and to ground and then anchor in everything that we experience today so it pierces into our heart and soul and it becomes a part of us. And so you literally leave this show a different person, feeling better, more inspired, more empowered in your life, and a little bit lighter and a little happier than you did at the beginning of the show. So what we're going to do is I will walk you through this super quick, and then we'll do the mantra meditation together. So it only takes a couple of minutes, so bear with me. If you're driving, you cannot do this. You can listen in, but keep your eyes on the road. But for everybody else, put down your phones and your devices and your other things. If you're listening or watching us and you're multitasking, like doing laundry or the dishes right now, stop that for just a few minutes. I promise it's going to be worth it. Go find a place to sit down. Now, what we're going to do is my rainbow breath meditation. We're going to breathe in through our nose for the count of 4 and pull that all the way down to your root chakra, which is where your tailbone is, that area down there. And you do that for 4 seconds. And then I want you to hold it and count. Don't worry, I'll be doing the counting to the count of 8 as we send light and energy to all 8 of our chakras. So we start with the root, then we go to the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, and the soul star. The soul star is so important. That's how we receive the information, the channeling. So we want that lit up and cleared away of any debris. Now, as we count to 8, then what I want you to do is breathe out for the count of 8. And again, what I want you to do is breathe out like you're blowing out birthday candles. I want you to get every toxic cell, memory, trauma, emotion that's living in your body somewhere up and out. Remember how Brenda talked about heart math breathing? This is similar in the way of how healing this is. So you do that, and then your abdomen's going to feel like a deflated balloon. It's going to feel really, really good. We're going to do that 2 times. So don't worry, I will walk you through it. Once we do that twice, all you need to do is keep your eyes closed and listen to my words. So are you ready? Put your feet flat on the floor. Take your hands, put them on your lap. You can face them down if you feel grounded, or you can turn them up if you want to receive more energy. Just keep those eyes closed. And get ready as I walk you through. Now breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds and pull it down to your tailbone. And hold it and light up and send energy to your chakras. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And breathe it out for 8. Get it all out. Oof, that feels good. Let's do that one more time. Are you ready? Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Here we go. And hold it and send light and energy to your 8 chakras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Listen to the words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small, I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to follow my path to self-discovery. I'm so worthy and deserving. There are no mistakes. Everything that I experience is a lesson along the way. And part of this earthly journey is for me to discover me, to forgive me, to be kind, to be compassionate to me, and to live in the present moment. That the past really doesn't matter. And the future, like Brenda said, I don't want to live there. I don't want to live there either. I want to be open and fluid to whatever comes from me. I know I'm being divinely guided by what Brenda calls the dear ones, and that feels really good because I don't feel alone. I feel loved and supported. And that my path of self-discovery is filled with 12 principles that I'm going to study and learn. But 3 of them were honesty, faith, and hope. And if I can live in honesty and I can have faith and I can have hope, I can do anything. There's nothing that I can't be, do, or have. It does not matter what age I am. It doesn't matter my health conditions. It doesn't matter any of my circumstances. I'm worthy and deserving just as I am. And I have today to live it the way I want to live it. So I honor and acknowledge the way I'm feeling. I release all attachments to any resentment or judgment. And I just know that I am on my path. And each and every day, I'm going to live it out fully. And I'm going to listen to love's inner voice as I honor myself on this journey. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can open your eyes. I want to thank my beautiful guest, Brenda L. Balding, for being here today. She is the host of Love's Inner Voice. You need to check her out on the E360 TV network, on the I Have Today TV network channel. We are there. We love her so much. I love all of you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our incredible growth, hitting over 100,000 views. Oh, I can't wait to say 100 million. That's a slip. And all of your devotion and dedication. And it is my vision and mission and life's work to help you live to your highest, greatest, fullest potential. So make sure you're following me at I Have Today with Diane Forster. And you can also reach me at dianeforster.com. That's it for this week's episode. Take care. Happy today. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.